She is describing unshaped by florid description or overwhelming emotions. Erno was born in 1940 and grew up in the small town of Yvetot in Normandy. She studied at Rouen University and later taught at the secondary school. From 1977 to 2000, she was a professor at the Centre National d'Enseignement par Correspondance. Her debut was Le More Vide, published in 1974 in France and as cleaned out in English in 1990. It was her fourth book, La Place or A Man's Place, that was her literary breakthrough, where she wrote about her relationship with her father. Her 2000 novel Happening depicts the consequences of illegal abortion. Her most critically acclaimed book is The Years, published in 2008 and describing herself and wider French society from the end of the World War II to the present day. Unlike in previous books, in The Years, Erno writes about herself in the third person, calling her character she rather than I. The book received numerous awards and honors. A Girl's Story from 2016 follows a young woman's coming of age in the 1950s. Erno is the 17th woman among the 119 Nobel Literature laureates. Agency report for Republic TV.
In other international news, Russian state TV released footage of what it said was training of newly mobilized recruits in the Kherson region. The video featured military exercises in urban environments as trainees learned to neutralize and bypass explosive devices and dig trenches. Russian President Vladimir Putin says he is working on the assumption that the situation will stabilize so that Russia can quietly develop the territories that he annexed from Ukraine. This comes as Putin has annexed 4 regions in Ukraine in violation of international laws. Police in Argentina announced they have arrested 3 men from Peru and 3 from Paraguay with almost half a ton of pure cocaine brought by land from Peru protected by heavily armed men. Police say the drug, after being cut, could supply the populous suburbs of Buenos Aires for about a month. President Joe Biden calls the decision by OPEC to cut oil production a disappointment, but says the White House is exploring alternatives.
The trip was not essentially for oil. The trip was about the Middle East and about Israel and rationalization of positions. But it is a disappointment, and it says that there are problems.
Leaders of 44 European countries stretching from Iceland all the way to Turkey met in what many said was a united stand against Russia's war in Ukraine, as an energy crisis and high inflation fueled by the conflict wreak havoc on their economies. It was the first time that Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan met Armenia's Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan since they agreed to press ahead with efforts to establish diplomatic ties and continue normalization efforts. Police in Argentina have announced that almost half a ton of pure cocaine brought by land from Peru and protected by heavily armed men has been seized. Here are more details.
Police in Argentina announced that they have arrested 3 men from Peru and 3 from Paraguay with almost half a ton of pure cocaine brought by land from Peru protected by heavily armed men. Police say that the drug, after being cut, could supply the populous suburbs of Buenos Aires for about a month.
El resultado tiene que ver con una investigación que veníamos llevando adelante con una banda de peruanos fundamentalmente que ingresaban la droga en la Argentina.
Sergio Berni, the security minister for Buenos Aires province, said that the bust is related to a very sophisticated drug cartel from Peru. Argentine prosecutor Santiago Marquivech is exchanging information with authorities from that country to aid the investigation.
Esto está relacionado con un cartel peruano, un cartel muy muy sofisticado en cuanto a su funcionamiento en Perú y por eso el fiscal Markievich está.
Argentina has been experiencing an increase in drug dealing activity, mostly in Rosario, Argentina's third largest city in the province of Santa Fe. In February, adulterated cocaine killed 20 people and seriously sickened 74 others in Buenos Aires. Agency report for Republic TV.
And coming up here on World This Morning, more news. Mass shooting reported in Thailand daycare center. The death toll has now risen to 36 in the horrific incident.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to high position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place, and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes, and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors.
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
In other international news, more than 12,000 buildings in the whole Mykolaiv region have been damaged or destroyed. It has been regularly targeted by cluster bombs as well as by low-precision rockets, which cause large-scale destruction when they land on residential buildings.
Residents of war-battered Mykolaiv struggle to live within the rubble of their homes. Essential services such as water were cut off since the southern Ukrainian city was heavily shelled last spring.
А то, что жить негде и нельзя, все выбираются, потому что разрушение.
А что, нету электричества сейчас получается?
Нету ни электричества, ни газа, ни воды, ничего нет. Канализация, ничего. Ни канализации, да.
И не будет, получается?
Не будет. Нас выселяют, из-за этого выселяют. Всю мебель вывозим, все.
А куда выселяют?
Даже цветочки. Кто куда? Предлагают койку-место, где-то там жить или... Интернат.
Mykolaiv's water supply comes from Kherson, which is currently under Russian control. Several blocks away, people queue at one of the few distribution points for drinking water.
Я считаю, это ситуация катастрофическая, потому что даже сейчас вот смотреть на стариков без слез нельзя. А что будет зимой, вот похолодает, даже легкий минус, я не знаю. Мне кажется, это больше пахнет уже катастрофой экологической какой-то, техногенной. Я не знаю, как это можно назвать.
Residents reported recent strikes that reduced entire floors of residential buildings to rubble.
Прилетела ракета, как говорится, С-300, такая. Вот я живу, не я живу, родные были на 4-м этаже. Вот, а там видно сверху, что 5-го этажа нет. Полностью наш 4-й. Там, ну, я бы не сказал, что он относительно целым, там жить не вариант. Там во всех углах очень большие щели и так далее. Стенки очень сильно подходили и все. Вот так вот.
Elsewhere in Ukraine, several Russian rockets hit residential buildings in the southern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia before dawn. The governor of the Russian-occupied region said that one person was killed and at least 5 people were trapped. The strikes came just hours after Ukraine's president announced that the country's military had retaken 3 more villages in one of the regions illegally annexed by Russia, the latest battlefield reversal for Moscow. Agency report for Republic TV.
Ukrainian emergency services showed rescuers scrambling through rubble in the wreckage of a devastated residential building reportedly caused by Russian rocket attack in the southern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia. Take a look.
7 Russian rockets slammed into residential buildings in the southern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia before dawn. The governor of the mostly Russian-occupied region said that the attack killed 1 person and injured at least 5 in the city, which is close to Europe's biggest nuclear power plant. The governor said that many people were rescued from the multi-story building, including a 3-year-old who was taken to hospital for treatment.
Ночью, коли усі люди спали, ворог наніс ракетний удар по житлових будинках. Влучено 2 багатоповерхівки, зруйновані під'їзди. Люди під завалами, зразу виїхали рятувальні служби. Медики наші всі працюють для того, щоб достати всіх людей з-під завалів і мінімізувати втрати. Ворог тероризує мирне населення.
The strikes came just hours after Ukrainian president announced that the country's military had retaken 3 more villages in one of the regions Russia has said that it has annexed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the European Political Community Summit attended by 44 countries.
Росія хоче перемалювати кордони, щоб знову розділити світ на зони впливу, знищивши наш спільний простір співпраці і розвитку. Росія корумпує мільярдами, які заробляє на торгівлі енергоресурсів. Це російська формула війни – вбивати, залякувати, фіксувати загрози вільним державам і їхні втрати, руйнувати кордони і корумпувати.
Zelensky also said that Russia has repeatedly used Iranian drones in recent strikes against Ukraine.
Росія робить Організацію Об'єднаних Націй зібранням 192, хто просто змушений терпіти, поки одна держава бреше і глумиться. І коли хоче цього, застосовує право вето, щоб заблокувати реальну можливість ООН повертати мир.
Regional authorities reported another rocket attack later in the morning, but there were no immediate details of the casualties or what was struck. Zaporizhia is one of the 4 regions that Russian President Vladimir Putin annexed in the violation of international laws and is home to a nuclear plant that is under Russian occupation. The city of the same name remains under Ukrainian control. Agency report, Republic TV.
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes, and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is within the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to high position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long
Good morning and welcome. You're watching the Morning Express on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri and this is Republic. We're going to begin with the headlines. Will carbon dating of Shivling in the Gyanvapi Mosque be allowed? The verdict is to be announced today. In the Gujarat stone pelting case, an eyewitness of the Khera violence claims the Congress leader led the mob. KPCC Chief T.K. Shivakumar is summoned for a second round by the ED in the National Herald case. Amit Shah, JP Nadda to be in Assam from today will inaugurate the biggest BJP office in the northeast. India at the UNSC says the ISIL, the Al-Qaeda linked groups in Africa, are attempting to control the political agenda. Well, in fact, as the mega crackdown on terror in Jammu and Kashmir continues, we are now learning that a hybrid terrorist was arrested by security forces in the Hefpuri area of Shopian during a joint operation. Now, one pistol and other ammunition has been recovered from him. So this is an arrest that's just been made a short while ago. This is a hybrid terrorist who was arrested from Shopian. This is, of course, in the backdrop of a mega swoop down that we have seen on terrorist activity across the valley. Shopian, of course, has in the past few weeks seen a lot of operations being launched by the Jammu and Kashmir police as well, in coordination with other agencies. Now, this particular terrorist, we're given to understand, was arrested from Shopian at Naka 1, and one pistol and ammunition has been recovered from him. Pictures on your screen are of the arrested person. We are still trying to ascertain which outfit he belonged to, and I think we've got Gursimran live from Jammu to tell us more on this. Gursimran, good morning. Give us more details about this particular operation as well as the terrorist who has been apprehended.
See, this operation was jointly conducted by the Jammu and Kashmir Police along with the 44 Rashtriya Rifles of the Indian Army and the CRPF in the Hef area. This falls in the Shopian, the South Kashmir. And important to mention that the arrested terrorist has been identified as Yawar Ahmed Padar, who hails from the Hef area, Zainpura area especially. And so forces have recovered a pistol, a magazine, 12 rounds and other ammunitions from his possession. He was a hybrid terrorist and possibly an attempt of carrying out the targeted killings in the South Kashmir. Shopian has been averted. The Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist was in touch with the top terrorists who were active in the area and was working on their directions. The arrest has been made and now the interrogation is underway so as to find out the location of the terrorists who were guiding him and the route through which he was getting the supply of arms and ammunition which has been recovered from his possession.
All right, Gursimran bringing us those details. Thank you very much for joining us. As Gursimran was pointing out, this was a joint operation which was conducted in Shopian. Now, in an exclusive report on the Khera violence, where a mob belonging to a particular community allegedly pelted stones at people attending the Garba event, an eyewitness of the violence has claimed that a local Congress leader, Arif Sheikh, who fought an election on the ticket from the party in 2021, was one of the stone pelters. Here's more.
1 month before the elections in Gujarat are all set to take place, violence broke out in Khera. On the face of it, it seemed as though there was violence that broke out between two communities, and that's why I reached on the ground to investigate.
एक आरिफ करके और जहीर करके लड़का है, वो दोनों ने उसकी अगुवाई में एक टोला लेके आए थे और जो भी व्यक्ति थे सब ने फिर डिस्टर्बेंस स्टार्ट कर दिया और जो गांव के लीडर्स है उन लोगों ने उनको समझाने की भी ट्राई की, लेकिन वो लोग माने नहीं और उनके साथ झगड़ा करने लगे और फिर थोड़े दूर जाके पत्थरमारा स्टार्ट किया।
We're right now here in the Undhela village of Kheda, and let us show you the kind of police that deployment that has been done to make sure that there's no further untoward incident and law and order situation that is also created here on the ground. And what you also see is this is the exact spot where the Garba celebrations had been going on in the night, and that's when there were several people, miscreants in fact, who had started stone pelting on the Garba procession.
वहाँ से भाग के आ रहे थे तो वहाँ उसकी गली है, वहाँ हमने रोक डाला। हम लकड़ियाँ लेकर वो सब आ गए थे तो हमको घेर लिया सबने, और वहाँ से हमारे लोग आए, हमने छुड़ा के लिए हम सब यहाँ खड़े थे तो वहाँ से एक पत्थर फेंका, उसका लग गया।
As we heard, one of the eyewitnesses who's already given his statement to the police, in fact claiming that he had spotted these people, in fact, of certain political parties, especially the Congress party as well, as far as Arif Sheikh is concerned. And he was the one who was leading a mob of at least 100 to 150 people as well.
Eyewitnesses claimed it was all planned.
वो आरिफ से क्या है 2021 में इलेक्शन लड़े थे कांग्रेस तरफ से, और भाजपा का हमारा जो शैलेश है वो जीत गए। जब भी तंग वातावरण हो गया था लेकिन ठंडा पड़ दिया, और उन्होंने बहुत पहले से जो यंग जनरेशन है उनको भड़काने में उसका पहला हाथ रहता है।
मेंबर्स तो सारे लोग थे, लेकिन साजिश में ऐसा है कि ये जो मेंटल है पत्थर वो दिखाया जाता है, वो बड़े रोड खाते का है, ऐसा हमारे गांव में कहीं यूज़ नहीं हुआ है। तो ये पहले की साजिश है कि सभी लकड़ियाँ और पत्थर।
Those injured claim clear political instruction.
आपकी जो सभी लोग मोमेडियन लोग खड़े हैं उसको ले जाओ और इधर से साइड में कर दो, ये सब गरबे खेलने दो। तो उन्होंने कुछ बोला नहीं और सब खड़े रहे और कुछ बोला नहीं। बाद में सबने पत्थरमारी शुरू नहीं कर दी, पर उन्होंने ही उसको प्रोवाइड किया कि अब शुरू कर दो पत्थर मारने के लिए।
All of these women as well claiming that they saw these members of the panchayat of the Congress party, of several other parties as well, and they had also instigated these crowds. In fact, the police also investigating the fact that there was a Congress member who had been leading a mob of at least 100 to 150 people, and this has been reiterated by eyewitnesses as well.
The Sarpanch of Undhela village revealed it was not just one Congress leader.
ये मुस्लिम पार्टी है सब, हाँ कांग्रेस ही। अब हम उसने बोला कि ऐसा तुम सभ्य होके नहीं करना चाहिए, तो हमें इसमें बोला सभ्य तो हम है, पर इसी वक्त सभ्य वभ्य कुछ नहीं होता है।
The kind of desolate character of this courtyard is visible, with the shops being closed, with an aftermath of the violence that had broken out. And we do see that a political color also now emerging in this entire investigation, with the sarpanches and also eyewitnesses claiming that they were Congress leaders, Congress members on the ground.
150 से 200 लोगों का एक मॉब था, उस मॉब ने ये असॉल्ट किया था जिसमें महिलाएं और पुरुष शामिल थे। अभी तक पूछताछ चालू है और करीब 10 से 11 आरोपियों को हम लोगों ने पूछताछ के लिए हिरासत में लिया है।
Parallelly, a separate inquiry and report is being submitted on the flogging incident in the region. The selective silence of the Vadra Congress on the allegedly political affiliation of accused number 1 and others is curious. The incidents of violence cannot be played down as spontaneous antisocial acts anymore. As Republic follows up on the incident, the question remains, was it all timed to elections?
Now, after banning the PFI and its affiliates in the country, the operation against dismantling its offices and other training centres has now begun.
After banning PFI and its affiliates in the country, the operation against the office and other training centres has now started. In exclusive input that Republic has got, we learned that all PFI workers from across Karnataka were trained in Mitturu in Bantwala Taluk of Dakshina Kannada district. The district police have moved to seize Freedom Community Hall, which was running a training centre. This centre hired retired police officers to give weapon trainings to PFI cadres. The NIA investigation revealed that those involved in the riots of KJ Halli and DJ Halli that took place in many places including the village were trained in this centre. Not just this, Shihabuddin, the main accused in the murder of BJP youth leader Praveen Nettaru murder case, was continuously trained in this center. Out of the three main masterminds of terror training in Karnataka, Mohammad Ashraf and Ayub Agnadi has been arrested, whereas Masood Agnadi is on the run. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now, with India all set to host the 90th Interpol General Assembly in Delhi starting the 18th of October, the Intergovernmental Organization Secretary General Jurgen Stock spoke to Republic Media Network on Thursday. Here's more.
The International Criminal Police Organization, generally known as the Interpol, is an intergovernmental organization which consists of 195 countries. The major role is that to help the police to work together to make the world a safer place. To do this, the organization enables them to share and access data on crimes and criminals and offer a range of technical and operational support. Now the question is, who makes the Interpol? Well, the General Secretariat coordinates day-to-day activities to fight a range of crimes. Run by the Secretary General, it is staffed by both police and civilians and comprises a headquarters in Singapore and several satellite offices in different regions. The General Assembly is the governing body and it brings all countries together once a year to take some major decisions. Now, these decisions are on policy, resources and finances of the organization that needs to be managed. The General Secretariat provides a range of expertise and services to member countries. Interpol manages 19 police databases with information on crimes and criminals ranging from names and fingerprints to stolen passports, which is accessible in real time to countries. Now, India will be hosting the 90th Interpol General Assembly in the national capital from 18th to 21st of October.
Out of turn one that India will be hosting. Now, India, of course, has been given a chance to host this event as we are celebrating the 76th year of our independence. The key focus of this event is going to be several issues that relate to security. One of them, of course, is going to be cybercrime, financial crimes, and also child pornography that is peddled on the internet.
The agenda for this meet will be on the future of policing today's crime like anti-corruption, cybercrime, crimes against children and others. Not just this, executive committee elections will also be held this time. Some of the successful operations that the CBI carried out with the Interpol is Operation Meghdut, Operation Chakra and Operation Guard. India has also been one of the relatively more active members and all eyes will be on key decisions that will be made during the meeting. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Now, in that all-exclusive conversation, Stock broached numerous topics, including how the Interpol facilitates data sharing between police services of over 100 nations, how it enables nations' police forces to work together even if they don't have formal diplomatic ties, how the agency keeps up with the evolving nature of crime, and more.
Ahead of the Interpol General Assembly, Interpol Secretary General Jurgen Stock has spoken for the first time on Indian television. With over 40 years of policing experience, Mr. Stock has played a pivotal role in establishing 3 global programs to guide all Interpol's policing activities, starting from counter-terrorism to cybercrime. Thank you very much, Mr. Stock, for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away dive in by asking you, Interpol is moving into the centenary next year. How much has Interpol achieved since its creation nearly 100 years ago?
So, where to begin? Interpol provides a unique global platform for law enforcement cooperation across our 195 member countries. Our 19 global databases put 126 million records at the fingertips of police around the world. These databases are searched more than 20 million times each day, which equates to around 250 searches per second. We have assisted our member countries locate and arrest tens of thousands of fugitives and helped identify thousands of child abuse victims. And importantly, since crimes evolve, we keep an eye on the future through research and development in international crime and trends. As we move into our centenary next year, I'm sure that we will continue to see even greater achievements with the support of our membership.
Well, a lot is spoken about the challenges faced by Interpol. Many a times there is perception about Interpol which perhaps may not be true. Many do not even understand the true functioning of Interpol. How does it really operate and what are the challenges? Hence, I'm asking you this question as to how do you essentially plan to tackle the challenges arising out of lack of diplomatic relations between its members?
Interpol enables police to work directly with their counterparts, even and especially between countries which do not have diplomatic relations, ensuring that Interpol's activities remain in line with our key principles of neutrality and independence is fundamental. And as Secretary General, these are elements I am committed to upholding, as without which international police cooperation could simply not continue. Every police officer in the world knows that in our line of work, you never know who holds the next piece of information you need to save the next life or prevent a terrorist attack. Similarly, any criminal cartel or terrorist network will exploit any gaps in police cooperation, so we cannot afford to have kind of black holes. It is precisely our effort in supporting international police cooperation, especially where diplomatic relations do not exist, which makes Interpol a vital part of global security.
Well, this brings me to the other question that there has always been an area of concern for the Interpol. Crime of terrorism is outside Interpol's constitutional scope. So how does one bridge the gap in order to improve the scope of functioning?
In fact, terrorism is one of our three main crime programs, the other two being cybercrime and organized and emerging crime. Terrorism encompasses a range of complex threats, so Interpol's focus remains on three key areas: identifying suspects, preventing terrorist travel, and tracing their finances. This is another reason why our neutrality is essential and why Interpol's role in combating terrorism is enshrined in numerous United Nations Security Council resolutions. Interpol was the first international organization to develop and implement a military-to-police information exchange model, putting information from conflict zones into the hands of law enforcement officers. We help countries share biometric data on foreign terrorist fighters and other terrorist suspects, as well as conduct checks against our facial recognition system and DNA and fingerprint databases. Our stolen and lost travel documents database helps countries identify individuals attempting to travel on a fake passport, for example. And in terms of terrorist financing, we work with a number of bodies such as the Financial Action Task Force, the Egmont Group, and financial intelligence units to help drive high-level policies and cooperation to counter terrorist financing.
With every passing day, the nature of the crime across the globe is changing, sometimes very rapidly. What does future policing look like in the wake of new challenges?
Today, we are witnessing unprecedented complexity in our criminal threat landscape, added to which COVID-19 triggered unprecedented opportunistic and predatory criminal behavior. Cybercrime stands, without a doubt, as one of the most challenging and fastest growing criminal threats faced by the international community. The threat is severe, far-reaching, and by definition, borderless. There are gaps in law enforcement cyber capacity across regions. Investigating cybercrime requires specific skills and technology which many countries do not possess. Again, this is where Interpol provides assistance and equally as important, training. By increasing the capacity of our member countries to prevent, detect, investigate, and disrupt cybercrimes, we can help protect communities.
Well, coming to Interpol's relation with India. In fact, India has been grappling with growing number of economic fugitives. How do you think Interpol can perhaps improve its working with India to help counter this?
Our cooperation with India is already extremely strong. What is important to remember, especially with fugitive investigations, is these individuals are actively trying to avoid arrest. This often means fugitives deliberately travel to countries which have no extradition treaty with India or use their illicit gains to hide. In fact, depriving criminals of their ill-gotten gains is a key area for action, especially as less than 1% of global illicit financial flows are intercepted and recovered, which of course inversely means that nearly 99% of stolen assets remain in criminal hands. The tracing, seizure and confiscation of criminal assets should be a priority for all countries, and Interpol stands ready to provide any and all assistance.
In fact, India has played an active role in Interpol. How do you see the contribution that India has made to Interpol, keeping in mind in the last few months we've seen several big operations that were carried out here in India with the help of Interpol?
India is one of our most active and engaged member countries. Through the Central Bureau of Investigation, we see extremely high levels of cooperation in combating all crime types. A recent example is the successful Operation Garuda, which resulted in the seizure of large amounts of drugs and a significant number of arrests. What is equally as important, these operations identify further links between organized crime groups, which will no doubt result in more arrests and seizures in the future. And I was delighted when earlier this year India became the 68th country to connect to our international child sexual exploitation database. This is another demonstration of India's strong commitment to global law enforcement cooperation and their efforts to protect the most vulnerable members of society. These are just two examples of the kind of leadership in law enforcement shown by India and why New Delhi is the ideal location to bring together police chiefs from around the world for our Interpol General Assembly.
There were back-to-back attacks on President Draupadi Murmu by the Congress leader Udit Raj, who remained obstinate as Republic TV confronted him. After first insulting the president by calling her a chamcha, he escalated the attack and then called her deaf and dumb.
तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी में गूंगा और बहरा दलित हो तो किसी भी पोजीशन पर पहुंच सकता है। पहले राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष बनाया था और अब एक राष्ट्रपति बना दिया है।
After the unrelenting attacks on President Draupadi Murmu, the BJP has demanded that the Congress expel Udit Raj immediately. The Saffron Party sought an apology from the Congress, but there's none forthcoming, not even from the leadership.
कांग्रेस पार्टी एक आदिवासी, एक महिला और जिन्होंने संघर्ष करके देश के सर्वोच्च पद तक पहुंचा है, उनके खिलाफ इस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग बार बार कर रही है। ये कहीं न कहीं कांग्रेस पार्टी की मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। ये कहीं न कहीं कांग्रेस पार्टी के एंटी ट्राइबल माइंडसेट को उजागर करता है। आज कांग्रेस पार्टी को इस प्रकार के वक्तव्य के लिए क्षमा मांगनी चाहिए।
The BJP's top brass, including the National President JP Nadda and the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, will be on a two-day visit to Assam and will inaugurate the biggest office of the party in the Northeast region. Nadda and Shah will also attend party workers' meeting at the Wet College Playground in Khanpara in Guwahati. Maharashtra's Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has written to the Election Commission of India staking claim to the Shiva Sena's party symbol. Republic has accessed the affidavit, and Shinde has also accused Uddhav Thackeray's faction of misusing the symbol. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh moved a bail application before the special CBI court in connection with a money laundering case registered by the agency. The court has directed the CBI to file its reply by the 14th of October. You are watching Republic TV, and still to come, will carbon dating of the Shivling in Gyanvapi Mosque be allowed? Verdict to be announced today. The KPCC chief D.K. Shivakumar is summoned for a second round by the ED in the National Herald case.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Vadra Congress has launched yet another organized attack on President Draupadi Murmu. And it cannot be accidental. They have called her all sorts of names. And they have assigned their senior Congress leader Udit Raj for this hatchet job. Viewers, earlier the same Congress leader was assigned to personally attack President Ramnath Kovind. So there is a pattern. The Vadra Congress, viewers, has constantly targeted President Murmu. With Sonia Gandhi, I don't know what problem she has with President Draupadi Murmu, earlier personally assigning her man in parliament, Adhir Ranjan, to attack President Draupadi Murmu and describe the president as Rashtrapatni. Viewers, the Vadra family's effective sponsorship of these attacks on President Murmu is clear from the fact that all those who have senselessly attacked President Draupadi Murmu have only been promoted in the party and not faced any action at all. So then what is the Vadra's problem with President Murmu? Are they happier with people they put on the president's chair who say they are so grateful that they would sweep the floor for members of the Vadra Gandhi family? Or is it the fact that President Kovind and President Murmu are from the SC/ST community and have risen to the highest job with sheer service to the country and merit? Whatever the reason, only a contorted mind would attack the President of India in the way the Congress has. And that, tonight, we debate.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to high position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
In this direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
carbon dating of Shivling in Gyanvapi Mosque be allowed? Verdict to be announced today. In the Gujarat stone pelting case, an eyewitness of the Kheda violence claims Congress leader led the mob. DK Shiv Kumar summoned for second round by ED in National Herald case. Amit Shah and JP Nadda to be on Assam visit from today will inaugurate the biggest BJP office in the northeast.
ISIL and Al-Qaeda linked and inspired groups in Africa are embedding themselves in multiple domestic conflicts, attempt to influence and control the political agenda.
India at UN Security Council says ISIL, Al-Qaeda linked groups in Africa are attempting to control political agenda. This is a self-defeating goal. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Morning Express. I'm Rukma, and in our top story we bring you breaking news right at the beginning of the bulletin, and in which we tell you about how certain persons taking part in a Dashera procession entered the historical Mahmud Gawa Madrasa in Karnataka. This is news coming in from Bidar in Karnataka. They performed puja in the premises of the madrasa and raised slogans of Jai Shri Ram. An FIR has been registered against 9 people in this respect. 4 people have been taken into custody. So 4 people taken into custody, and Prajwal to take us through the latest updates and the details in this regard. Prajwal, what are you hearing from your sources? When does this incident happen, and what is the latest update you can give us?
Good morning, Rukma. And this particular incident has come to light from the Bidar town. And this incident was reported on the 6th of October at 2 in the morning. And FIR has been registered against 9 people. Prominent among them is the name of Prashant Gauli, who is also a prominent leader there. Now, the mob over here in question had taken out Dasra procession route march. And while passing in front of the madrasa in the wee hours of the morning, they have threatened the security guard and forced open the gates of the madrasa. And remember that in Bidar, both the Muslim brethren and the Hindu community celebrate Ganesha as well as Dasera together. And in this particular case, what happened was usually the committee of the mosque used to perform pujas either to the Ganesha rally or else even for the Dasera rally. But over here, this particular mob violated this agreement between the two communities, and they threatened the security. They forced open the gate, and they also forced open the door of the madrasa, and then they performed pujas inside the madrasa too and started chanting slogans of Jai Shri Ram, Vande Mataram and Bharat Mata Ki Jai too. And in this regard, the situation was very tense too, because the police immediately arrived at the spot. The SP himself was also present over there, and they made sure that the situation wouldn't go out of control, because there were around 400 to 500 people who gathered at a very short span of time. And now the members from the Muslim community have stated that they will protest if serious action is not taken, because so far only 4 people have been detained, and we are still we are still yet to know the information whether these 4 people's names have been mentioned in the FIR, because all the locals there are alleging the fact that none of them have.
साल 8 अक्टूबर
So tri-service chiefs paying their respects at the National War Memorial and saluting in homage to armed martyrs. Brave hearts are battle casualties over the years in various battles, winning laurels for India, for the nation. The chiefs of the Army, Navy and Air Force and Chief of Defence Staff as well at the National War Memorial in New Delhi, paying tribute in a wreath-laying ceremony at the National War Memorial in tribute to our fallen heroes, to the brave men who gave their lives for the nation. We get you more news now. Breaking news, in fact, coming in. And we are getting news about from Madhya Pradesh's Vidisha, where allegedly a mazar has been built inside school premises. Allegedly, the principal ordered the construction of the mazar inside the premises of this particular school in Madhya Pradesh's Vidisha. So authorities in this particular school have been found to have instructed. It has been reported that authorities in the school instructed that a mazar be built inside the school premises. More details on this story are awaited. But this is a story, this is a report coming in from Madhya Pradesh's Vidisha. These are visuals of the school where the alleged mazar was built under the principal's orders. It's a shocker coming in from Madhya Pradesh's Vidisha.
प्रार्थना मध्य प्रदेश गान और ए मालिक तेरे बंदे हैं। और राष्ट्रगान कभी कभी कुछ मौक़ों पर होता था, 15 अगस्त 26 जनवरी मौक़ों पर होता है। और राष्ट्रगीत भी नहीं हुआ।
राष्ट्रगान भी होता है नियमित रूप से।
अच्छा, और एक मामला और आया है यहाँ कि यहाँ कोई मज़ार का मामला है कि मज़ार कोई नई बनी है यहाँ?
नहीं सर, नहीं बनी थी। पुरानी जो बनी थी ना, तो उसी की रिपेयरिंग करके नई हो गई अब।
अभी यहाँ कोई नई मज़ार बनी है?
नई बनी है।
अच्छा, कैसे बनाई है?
पुरानी भी नई, पुरानी उससे नहीं करवाई है।
अच्छा, पुरानी मज़ार को नया कराया है।
And Satya Prakash to tell us more about this incident. Satya Prakash, we're hearing about a mazar inside school premises, and from what we hear, ye mazar was always there. It's been repaired and given a new face now. What are you hearing from your sources? What can you tell us about this story in detail?
जी देखिए, मध्य प्रदेश के विदिशा जिले में कुरवाई इलाका है, जहां पर की शासकीय स्कूल है, सीएम राइज स्कूल है, जिसमें एक मजार नुमा चबूतरा बना दिया गया और इसको लेकर पूरा विवाद खड़ा हुआ है। चूंकि फरवरी माह में ये चबूतरा रिपेयर करके बनाया गया, इसकी जानकारी लगी है और उस समय की प्रभारी प्राचार्य जो हैं वो वर्ग विशेष से आती हैं, उन्होंने इस चबूतरे को रिपेयर करवाया और इसे मजारनुमा रूप दिया, जिसके बाद विवाद खड़ा हुआ। और विवाद के बाद जब पूरा जो घटनाक्रम में लोगों ने शिकायत की, वहां के छात्रों ने शिकायत की, वहां के स्थानीय नागरिकों ने शिकायत की, जिसके बाद शिक्षा विभाग ने जांच की और जांच में ये पाया कि हाँ, वहां पर जो चबूतरा है वो उसे मजार की शक्ल दी गई। और उस समय की फरवरी में जब ये बनाया गया, उस समय की तत्कालीन जो प्रभारी प्राचार्य हैं साइना फिरदौस, उन्होंने ये चबूतरा जो है इसे मजार का रूप देने की कोशिश की, मजार जैसा बना दिया है, जिसके बाद ये विवाद खड़ा हुआ। कल राष्ट्रीय बाल संरक्षण आयोग के जो अध्यक्ष हैं वो भी वहां पर इन शिकायतों के बाद सर्वे और जांच करने पहुंचे थे। उन्होंने भी इस पर आपत्ति दर्ज कराई है। और अभी लेटेस्ट अपडेट ये है कि जब इस पर विवाद खड़ा हो रहा है, तो इसके बाद पहले तो सिर्फ प्रभारी प्राचार्य को तबादला ट्रांसफर उनका किया था, लेकिन अभी हमारे पास जानकारी है कि उनको निलंबित सस्पेंड कर दिया गया है। और दूसरी बड़ी बात यह है कि विदिशा जिला जो है सीएम वहां से काफी टच में रहे हैं। सीएम सीधे कनेक्ट रखते हैं विदिशा जिले से और विदिशा के कुरवाई में ये घटना हुई है। कुरवाई का जो शासकीय स्कूल है सीएम राइज स्कूल, इस स्कूल का भी नाम सीएम राइज स्कूल है, जहां पर कि इस विवादित चबूतरे का निर्माण किया गया। हालांकि वहां के प्यून और बाकी लोगों से जब हमारे सोर्स में बात की तो उनका कहना था कि पहले से यहाँ चबूतरा था, बस इसे रिपेयर किया गया है। लेकिन जांच जो हुई है शिक्षा विभाग द्वारा उसमें ये स्पष्ट है कि इसे मजार की शक्ल दी गई और जिसके बाद विवाद खड़ा हुआ। स्थानीय लोगों ने आपत्ति की, बच्चों ने भी आपत्ति की और इसी के चलते अब तत्कालीन जो प्रभारी प्राचार्य थी उन्हें निलंबित भी कर दिया गया है। अब देखना यह है कि चूंकि जिस तरह से अब लोग शिकायत कर रहे हैं और मजार स्कूल में मजार का कोई काम नहीं होता, वहां पर सभी वर्ग से जुड़े लोग पढ़ने आते हैं, तो ऐसे में इसको क्या तोड़ा जाएगा, ये अगला बड़ा सवाल खड़ा होता है।
Well, Satya Vijay, stay with us. We'll be coming back to you. Let's listen in to understand more about the entire case.
हमको शिकायत मिली थी कि विदिशा जिले की कुरवाई तहसील में सीएम राइज स्कूल में मजार नुमा संरचनाएं बनाई गई हैं और बच्चों को गुमराह करने का और रेडिकलाइजेशन का काम वहाँ पे किया जा रहा है और ये काम स्कूल के शिक्षकों द्वारा किया जा रहा है। हमने वहां जाके जांच की, हमको पता चला कि विद्यालय की एक पूर्व प्राचार्य और उसके पति द्वारा वहां पर फरवरी मार्च के महीने में इस प्रकार की संरचना का निर्माण किया गया। मई महीने में इसकी शिकायत भी जिला शिक्षा अधिकारी तक आ गई और 15 अगस्त को स्कूल के जो नए प्राचार्य आए उन्होंने एक जांच रिपोर्ट भी जिला शिक्षा अधिकारी को दे दी बना करके। उस रिपोर्ट में यह खुलासा हुआ कि वहां पे बच्चों को राष्ट्रगान केवल 15 अगस्त और 26 जनवरी को कराया जाता था, राष्ट्रीय गीत कभी नहीं कराया गया, जो कि मध्य प्रदेश शासन के नियम अनुसार होना चाहिए। इसके अलावा हमको अपनी जांच में जो पता चला वो यह था कि शुक्रवार के दिन बच्चों को नमाज पढ़ने के लिए छुट्टी दे दी जाती है। हमको ये भी पता चला कि पूर्व प्राचार्य जब वहां काम कर रही थी उसने एक कक्ष नमाज पढ़ने के लिए आरक्षित कर रखा था। हमको ये भी पता चला कि दिस इज नॉट लिमिटेड टू दैट सीएम राइज स्कूल। वहां पे 3 स्कूल हमने कुल विजिट की और हमको तीनों में मजारें देखने को मिली। स्कूल के अंदर इस प्रकार की संरचनाओं का निर्माण करना, बच्चों को जुम्मे के दिन नमाज पढ़ने की छुट्टी देना, ये सब एक गंभीर अनियमितता की ओर इशारा करती हैं। जिला शिक्षा अधिकारी आज पूरे समय नदारद रहा। हमको सहयोग उसने जांच के दौरान बिल्कुल भी नहीं किया। हमने सवेरे ही उनको सूचना की थी कि हम ये जांच करने के लिए आ रहे हैं। ना तो ब्लॉक एजुकेशन ऑफिसर को उन्होंने भेजा, ना ही जिला शिक्षा अधिकारी ने खुद वहां उपस्थित रहने की आवश्यकता समझी, ना ही तो हमको स्कूल से संबंधित पेपर्स दिखाए गए। ऐसी स्थिति में साफ साफ प्रतीत होता है कि 15 अगस्त से जानकारी होने के बावजूद जिला शिक्षा अधिकारी किसी दबाव में काम कर रहा है, जिसने सरकारी जमीन को खाली करवाने के लिए अभी तक कोई काम नहीं किया।
तो देखिए विदिशा के कुरवाई का ये जो पूरा घटनाक्रम था, इस पे हम डिटेल रिपोर्ट दिखा रहे हैं। सबसे बड़ी बात ये कि स्कूल में इस तरह की संरचनाओं का कोई काम नहीं होता, मजारनुमा संरचना का, इसीलिए विवाद खड़ा हुआ और इसी स्टोरी पर बाकी अपडेट्स देंगे एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद।
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to high position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes, and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event.
And in the Morning Express, time now for some sports news. Iran breezed to 5-0 win over Thailand in AFC Futsal Asian Cup semi-finals. With this victory, Iran is just a match away from winning the title in the record extending 13th time against Japan, who is the only other team to have won the coveted crown. Saski Baskonia makes winning start to new EuroLeague season with 81-71 success at Valencia Basket. The new coach John Penaroya led Baskonia, masterminding the victory against coach's former club Mike Kotsar on his premier match, emerged as the star performer. Al-Ettifaq held to a goalless draw by third place Al Hilal at Prince Mohammed bin Fahd Stadium in Saudi Roshan League. As a result of the tie, both teams remain in the same position in the points table. Real Madrid take the upper hand throughout their 71-68 win over host Panathinaikos in the EuroLeague opening match. Duo of Eddie Tavares and Zanan Musa helped Real Madrid clinch victory. Fenerbahce dominate EuroLeague season opener as they beat hosts Bayern Munich in a 74-62 win. And breaking news coming in now, the ED is conducting searches at multiple locations. News coming in of 35 locations so far. And that's as far as the news right now is concerned. But this is breaking news, viewers. The ED, the Enforcement Directorate, now conducting searches at 35 locations. And KPCC Chief D.K. Shivkumar has been summoned for a second round by the ED in the National Herald case. We bring you all the news and updates here in Republic, so stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We are just slipping into a very short break.
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes, and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to higher position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which...
And you're watching news here, breaking news coming in now. As we told you before going in for that short break, the ED conducting searches across 35 locations across states in Punjab, Delhi and Haryana. Sources have informed that the searches are linked to the Liquor Gate scam. In breaking news coming in, the ED conducting searches at 35 locations. Even as we speak, we bring you all the details as they're coming in here on Republic. So stay with us as we slip into a very short break.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to higher position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes, and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to higher position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul!
Even as multiple agencies continue to probe the Liquorgate scam, we are now hearing that the ED is conducting searches at about 35 locations in Punjab, Delhi and Hyderabad. Sources have also informed Republic TV that the searches are linked to Delhi's now defunct liquor policy. Now, these searches are being conducted at about 35 locations is what we are hearing. Do remember that this, of course, comes after the fact that the CBI got that Vijay Nair, who was arrested by the CBI, was sent to judicial custody yesterday, and of course the other person who has been arrested by the ED in this case, Amir Mahendru, one of the businessmen who's been arrested by the ED in a money laundering case related to alleged irregularities, has also been sent for custodial interrogation. So searches are currently underway at about 35 locations is what we are learning. Shravan San joins us right now. Shravan, good morning. Give us more details about where these searches are taking place.
Well, therefore, a confirmation now coming in from our top sources within the Enforcement Directorate that there are 35 locations across the country where these searches are being carried out. As of now, the confirmation that we have, therefore, is that searches are being carried out in Delhi, in Punjab and Hyderabad. Now, important to point out here is the difference between the investigation that has been carried out by the Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate. What turns out is that not just the focus on the excise policy in Delhi, but also the focus that is being put on right now is in Punjab, where we are now given to understand that last time when the searches were being carried out at the excise commissioner's premises, the connection that was basically emerging is that whether at all there too, just like in Delhi, some of these companies were making big windfall profits. Now, important to point out, in Hyderabad too, there are certain political links that have emerged. As of now, the Enforcement Directorate has been completely tight-lipped about it. This is the third time that the searches are being carried out. But important to point out here is that a large focus is on right now in Hyderabad and also in Punjab, where these searches are being carried out. As of now, there's already been one arrest that has been made in this case. That happens to be of Samir Mahendru. Now, the allegations that have been leveled, just to quickly recap the excise policy case which has been probed by the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate. The allegation being that the excise policy which was drafted by the Delhi government, it was drafted in a manner that had only benefited some players, resulting in cartelization. The fact of the matter here is that the Enforcement Directorate also suspects that there is a money laundering angle involved in it, because these certain companies that we are talking about, these liquor traders, remember, they are the ones who are making windfall profits. And the fact that there was a handful of them who were basically making those profits primarily because of the excise policy was favoring them, ensuring that smaller players are left out from the market. And the fact of the matter is that the Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate basically suspects that there is a quid pro quo angle attached to it.
Right, absolutely. As you're pointing out, of course, I think this is the third round of raids, Shravan, that the ED is conducting. The second round was wider, perhaps, Delhi, Telangana, Maharashtra, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, all of those places were raided. But for the benefit of our viewers, Shravan, explain to us the, multi-agency probe that is going on. Of course, there's one CBI investigation which is looking into the liquor policy, which is now defunct, of course. And the other part of it is money laundering.
Well, as far as the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate is concerned, the Central Bureau of Investigation is largely looking at how this excise policy was drafted and whether at all this was being drafted by a few people within the party along with the bureaucrats, in connivance with the bureaucrats, and doing in a manner that was only benefiting a few, and the fact that whether at all they were receiving the money or not. Now, what is important for the Enforcement Directorate is to basically look into the money laundering angle, given the fact that there would be certain individuals who had benefited from this particular liquor, from the liquor policy, and the second aspect being that there are 3 to 4 people who both the agencies suspect were extremely close to the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, and they played an important role. Rather, they were extremely instrumental in drafting this particular excise policy. Now, the fact of the matter here is that there are larger players who are part of this entire liquor chain. For instance, if you take a look at Samir Mahindru's company, Samir Mahindru has also been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, and Vijay Nair, who has been arrested by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Allegations essentially being levelled that all of them were basically working hand in gloves, and the fact that they were all working in tandem to ensure that smaller players are basically left out. For instance, in this particular case, one of the clauses that was in the excise policy was that companies over a period of 3 years would have an annual would have a turnover of about 150 crore rupees. Now, a capping of this nature essentially indicates that the policy made the smaller players completely irrelevant, completely redundant, and the fact that they would not be able to participate in the tendering process. The second aspect of course, being that of one-time favors that were basically, or waivers that were basically given by the government of Delhi. The allegation being that these waivers have basically led to a loss in public exchequer.
Absolutely, as Shavan Sen is pointing out, of course, we are now learning that surges are currently on in multiple locations. Now, they are being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate, which is looking into the financial crimes in this particular case. Searches, we are told, being carried out at Delhi and Hyderabad. Anuj and Amandeep are joining us as well. Amandeep, to you first. Now, we are now getting new linkages that are being drawn to Punjab particularly. So give us a sense of what's happening over there and who all are being raided. What is the focus of these raids?
Well, absolutely, Nupur. Now the Punjab is also under the scanner of ED following this liquor policy that was newly constructed by Aam Aadmi Party. Earlier, a raid was conducted on the Director of Excise and Excise and Taxation as well as the Assistant Director. In both houses were raided. Sufficient documents has been seized by the ED. That was the second raid that was carried out by the Enforcement Directorate in Punjab. Just because, Nupur, the Punjab liquor policy is all being refurbished following the line of the Delhi liquor policy, and since the Delhi liquor policy has been defunct and now it is the Punjab which is under scanner, and in fact the Aam Aadmi Party government is trying to make a shield over this ED raids as well. But yes, the ED has initiated their investigation and in fact their searches as well. Initially the directors has been searched, their houses has been searched, the documents has been collected, and now the contractors who were getting the liquor contracts in Punjab, in fact, they are also under the scanner, and in fact, which was the rule that was followed by while giving these kinds of contracts. So basically, the overall liquor policy is completely under the scanner, just because even the ED believes that there are certain private players who are being benefited by the government while refurbishing this liquor policy in Punjab following the line of Delhi. And in fact, both the private players as well as the policy makers, they all are under the scanner. Just because initially, Nupur, certain officers, IAS officers, they have attended the meetings in Delhi, and in fact, they have gathered all the information that how Delhi liquor policy has been made to benefit the exchequer, and in fact that meetings and in fact those documents that has been shared by the Punjab to Delhi, they all are in the custody of ED for the further investigation.
All right, stay with us, Amandeep.
Yes,
let's also go across to Anuj right now, who has more details of what's happening in New Delhi. Yes, Anuj, tell us more.
Oh, well, exactly. This is Enforcement Directorate, which is again back in action. As we do understand and as we do know that the FIR has been already registered by the CBI, and we have seen the multiple searches which was carried out by the CBI in the national capital and the other area. But now this is Enforcement Directorate which is looking into the finances and the finance angle if we talk about the liquor policy. Whereas we also do understand that this is Samir Mahindru who has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in the same excise policy case, and he's under the custody custody. At this point in time, the interrogation is going on. So this is collective in investigation. If we talk about CBI and if we talk about the Enforcement Directorate. So Vijay Nair, we do know, has been arrested by the CBI. Sameer Mahendru has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. So the dots has been connected and every angle is being looked up by the Enforcement Directorate, that who all are involved. If we talk about the money trail, if we talk about the money laundering. So Enforcement Directorate, let me clarify, is looking into the finances angle, as we told it to our viewers earlier also. And CBI, they are parallelly doing the investigation. This is to see what exactly is going to happen. But if we talk about these arresting which has been done, from there the dots has been connected, the investigation has been done, and this is the next step which has been taken by the Enforcement Directorate. At this point in time, we have been told in total this is 35 locations, including in Delhi, including in Punjab, as well as in Hyderabad. So this is going to be the people whosoever was connected when we are talking about this particular excise policy which was implemented by the Delhi government last year in November, and rather it was rolled back. But there we have seen how the LG has asked for the action and has requested the CBI to look over into the investigation, and there finally this was taken up by the CBI, and finally now this is Enforcement Directorate which is in action. We are reporting from the National Capital, we are reporting from the Enforcement Directorate office in the National Capital, and 35 is the location where at this point in time the searches is being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate team. Yes.
All right, Anuj as well as Amandeep who are reporting on this. Thank you very much for joining us, both of you. So raids being conducted in about 35 locations across the country by the Enforcement Directorate in the liquor policy. News just coming in a mega narcotics bust. We are learning that the Narcotics Control Bureau has seized 50 kgs of mephedrone worth about 120 crore rupees in the international market from a godown in Mumbai. Now, 2 people, including a former Air India pilot, have been arrested by the NCB in this particular case. So news just coming in right now. Pictures on your screen are of this massive drug bust that has taken place. The Narcotics Control Bureau has seized about 50 kgs of mephedrone worth 120 crores from a godown in Mumbai. 2 people have been arrested in the case. One of them, of course, happens to be a former employee of Air India. Let's listen into some reactions that we are getting.
Acting on an input, NCB recovered approximately 50 kg of MD drugs concealed in a godown located in SB Path area of Mumbai. In this connection, we have arrested 2 persons, including the kingpin of this cartel. This kingpin was earlier arrested in a Coffee Posa Act in 1995 for smuggling of Mandrax tablets. Both the arrested persons are from Mumbai. Initially, an information regarding the sale of MD drug in Gujarat was shared by our sister agency Naval Intelligence Unit of Jamnagar. This input was developed by Naval Intelligence and NCB together. MD, as some of us know, is mephedrone. It's a stimulant drug and commonly known as Meow Meow, and is classified under neopsychotropic substances. And the commercial quantity of MD is 50 grams. According to international street price of the drug seized is approximately 120 crores.
All right. In fact, Alisha Nair is reporting on this. She joins us from Mumbai right now. Alisha, we're given to understand that these are repeat offenders. At least that's what the official over there seemed to suggest. And the variety of narcotics that has been seized also seems to be quite wide. Tell us more.
Well, yes, that was a press conference by Deputy DDG Sanjay Kumar Singh and Amit Gavate, who is a Mumbai unit zonal director, which clearly gives information over the huge truck seizure. We know that the two people who have been arrested, one is a kingpin and the other is the Air India pilot, was a former Air India pilot, and he left from his job for his personal health condition. But this, if we talk about the drugs that has been recovered, that is a 50 kg of MD that has been seized, which internationally worth a price about 120 crore, and this has been seized from a godown in Mumbai yesterday. So this was a seizure that has been made in an operation. It's a joint operation by Mumbai NCB and a Naval Intelligence Unit. So with the tip of information that has been got from a Naval Intelligence Unit to NCB, after which the act has been there was an act by the NCB and the Naval Intelligence Unit where the two people have been arrested with 50 kg of MD worth rupees 120 crore.
Absolutely. Alicia, of course, is bringing us those details from Mumbai. Thank you, Alicia, for joining us. So as Alicia is pointing out, this has been a mega bust. In Jammu and Kashmir, SIA is conducting raids at the Shopian district. Sources have told Republic TV that the State Investigation Agency of the Kashmir Police is conducting raids at multiple locations in South Kashmir in a terror network case filed under various sections of UAPA and IPC this year. So multiple location raids are being conducted by the State Investigation Agency, I beg your pardon. These raids are being carried out across Shopian. Now, do remember that early this morning, of course, we also had news coming in from Shopian about a terror operator who had been arrested by the agencies. He, of course, was arrested along with a weapon as well as some ammunition. Zeenat, our Kashmir Bureau Chief, joins us on the phone line. She has more details. Yes, Zeenat, tell us more about the SIA raids that are being conducted even as we speak in Shopian.
As far as the SIA raids and the second is concerned, the State Investigating Agency is conducting raids at multiple locations in South Kashmir in a terror network case filed under various sections of UAPA and IPC this year. The case pertains to the terror group that is still active in the valley. The searches are aimed at dismantling the terror ecosystem in the valley by identifying overground workers and supporting and abating terrorism. Talking about the raids and where the SIA is conducting the raids, that also includes the areas like Izanapura, Imam Sahib, Topran, similarly in Achabal, Anantnag, Shangar, Skund, Gam, and also Vistara, which is a part of Anantnag, and also Pushkeri and Melura of Kitan. So we can say the raids are taking place in the entire South Kashmir that comprises of district Shopian, district Kulgam, and also district Anantnag.
Right, as Zeenat is pointing out, of course, this is being conducted at various locations in Shopian. Now, Zeenat, give us also more information in terms of whether at all this was linked to the arrest that we saw earlier in the morning.
See, as far as the arrest of a hybrid terrorist is concerned, that happened yesterday evening. The hybrid terrorist was arrested by Assistant Police with arms and ammunition. Right now he is involved in this case is possible to form the one the hybrid terrorist has been arrested by the Shopian police, because agency claims, as far as these raids are today concerned, agency claimed that the details are being investigated at the initial stage also includes people in the Pakistan. You remember the masterminds in the Pakistan who, with the active support of Pakistani intelligence and agencies and in connivance with the proscribed terror organizations like JE and in Pakistan, have been active there, activating their overground workers in Jammu and Kashmir for initiating, organizing and executing terror activities in Jammu and Kashmir. The Pakistan masterminds have been comprehensively identified. Their particulars, however, are being kept confidential because other agents connected with them are not alerted. This was also stated by the SIA during the press release. And now, again, the raids are being conducted as far as to destroy or to dismantle the ecosystem that supports the terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. And the raids today are related to the cases related to terror network in the Kashmir Valley.
All right. In a sense, it is largely the dismantling of the terror network that's still being conducted in Jammu and Kashmir by the State Investigation Agency. Thank you very much, Zeenat, for joining us. And here's a look at the top international news this morning. Continuous pouring by a westbound tropical storm across Venezuela left floods, landslides and many houses damaged in its wake. A video surfaced on the social media showing a landslide affecting an apartment building in Caracas, followed by several other residents waking up to witness the destruction of 19 homes. The leaders of California, Oregon, Washington State and British Columbia signed a new agreement on reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Gavin Newsom of the California government, Kate Brown of Oregon, Jay Inslee of Washington and Premier John Horgan of British Columbia signed the Pacific Coast Collaborated Statement of Cooperation at the Presidio Tunnel Tops Park in San Francisco.
Point I want to reinforce briefly as I ask everybody to come up and we update our 2016 Pacific Coast Collaborative Agreement, and that is collaboration, inspiration.
We have a history of leadership, technological and cultural. We have a recognition that this is the #1 economic development program that has been spectacularly successful. Look, the #1 economies in the country are represented right here, these 4 leaders groups.
2 people were killed besides 6 others being severely wounded in a stabbing attack along the Las Vegas Strip. The attacker carrying a large kitchen knife was arrested in connection with the stabbing. As per sources, stabbings occurred in multiple locations and some of the victims appeared to be showgirls who took pictures with tourists on the Strip. The 5 surviving victims were rushed to hospital for further treatment. Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry has called for help as humanitarian crisis prevailed in the country. Residents of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, awoke to empty traffic streets with heavily armed gangs controlling the city's fuel terminal and many other parts. Gangs have always wielded considerable power in Haiti, but post the July 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, authorities have grown as they fight to control more territories. Now, their suppression led to killing of hundreds, including women and children, in recent months. The gang supremacy also drove away some 20,000 people from their homes. Several thousand people held a protest in Banja Luka, accusing a pro-Russian Bosnian Serb leader Milorad Dodik of rigging a vote to win the position he sought. Chanting slogans, Dodik, the protesters blocked traffic in the main city. The demonstrators called for a repeat of Sunday's vote for the president of Republika Srpska. Strategy to promote sustainable projects beneficial to rural communities. Succulents, traditional Mexican Day of the Dead, Chemospostil flowers, roses, orchids. You are watching Republic TV, and up next, the KPCC chief D.K. Shivakumar is summoned for a second round by the ED in the National Herald case. And Amit Shah and JP Nadda are to be on an Assam visit from today will be inaugurated the biggest BJP office in the Northeast.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Vadra Congress has launched yet another organized attack on President Draupadi Murmu. And it cannot be accidental. They have called her all sorts of names. And they have assigned their senior Congress leader Udit Raj for this hatchet job. Viewers, earlier the same Congress leader was assigned to personally attack President Ramnath Kovind. So there is a pattern. The Vadra Congress, viewers, has constantly targeted President Murmu. With Sonia Gandhi, I don't know what problem she has with President Draupadi Murmu, earlier personally assigning her man in parliament, Adhir Ranjan, to attack President Draupadi Murmu and describe the president as Rashtrapatni. Viewers, the Vadra family's effective sponsorship of these attacks on President Murmu is clear from the fact
that all those who have senselessly attacked President Draupadi Murmu have only been promoted in the party and not faced any action at all. So then what is the Vadra's problem with President Murmu? Are they happier with people they put on the president's chair who say they are so grateful that they would sweep the floor for members of the Vadra Gandhi family? Or is it the fact that President Kovind and President Murmu are from the SC/ST community and have risen to the highest job with sheer service to the country and merit? Whatever the reason, only a contorted mind would attack the President of India in the way the Congress has. And that, tonight, we debate.
In this election, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to higher position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
The headlines at this hour: mega crackdown on Liquorgate, pan-India ED searches now underway. From national capital to Hyderabad, ED searches underway across 35 locations. Fresh Madrasa Rao in Karnataka's Bidar. Mob enters Madrasa, performs puja. Owaisi hits out, questions Bomai government. Will carbon dating of Shivling in Gyanvapi Mosque be allowed? Verdict to be announced today. KPCC Chief DK Shivkumar summoned for second round by ED in National Herald case. Amit Shah, JP Nadda to be on Assam visit from today. Will inaugurate biggest BJP office in the Northeast. Welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking here on Republic. I'm Rukma. In our top story, we bring you breaking news. Even as ED searches are underway across 35 locations in Punjab, Delhi and Hyderabad in connection with Liquorgate, Arvind Kejriwal has once again defended his deputy Sisodia, accused in the scam, saying that more than 500 raids since 3 months. More than 300 CBI and ED officers are working for 24 hours, one to find evidence against Manish Sisodia. But they have been unable to do so. That's what Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal claims, that central agencies have not been able to find anything because nothing is there to be found. And we are bringing you breaking news on ED searches across 35 locations. The raids The raids are in connection with Liquorgate, and joining us now is our correspondent Anuj. Anuj, we're hearing about more ED raids related to Liquorgate. What can you tell us?
Well, exactly. This is the mega crackdown of Enforcement Directorate. Since from the very morning, this is Enforcement Directorate which could be clearly seen in the action. What we have been told that this is around 35 places across the country, including in Delhi, including in Hyderabad, as well as in Punjab, where this multiple searches is going on. And the Enforcement Directorate is now looking into the money trail, into the finances angle. That's something what we have been told. Let me remind you that this was the case which was earlier registered by the CBI, where we have seen this was none other but Manish Sisodia himself, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, whose residence was raided. Later, the arrest of Vijay Nair was seen. Vijay Nair is already under the custody and he is in the judicial custody. He was arrested by the CBI, whereas Sameer Mahindru was also arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. And at this point in time when we are talking, let me tell you that Sameer Mahindru is already under the custody, and the Enforcement Directorate doing the investigation and joining the dots. The dots has been connected by the Enforcement Directorate, where they are looking into the money trail, into the money angle, that what exactly has happened. Let me also remind you that this is regarding the liquor policy which was implemented by the Delhi government in November last year. After that, it was rolled back for a 6-month period or 8-month period. It was implemented, and later it was rolled back. We have seen the LG taking the note of the policy, later asking the CBI to get into the things and do the investigation, where finally CBI initiated the investigation in the same matter, and later we have seen how the multiple searches was carried out. Finally, this is Enforcement Directorate which is in action today at 35 locations. This is mega crackdown where the searches is going on by the Enforcement Directorate teams. Yes.
Right, Anuj, stay with us. We also have with us Aneri. So, Aneri, we are hearing that the raids by the ED today across 35 locations, areas down south being searched as well. What can you tell us?
Well, that's right, Rukma. We have been saying that earlier also there were raids which had been happening in various parts of Telangana, including Hyderabad. We had seen earlier when there were raids which happened. Hyderabad also one of the city which was raided by the Enforcement Directorate. And once again, now we see that Hyderabad is also in the list of the Enforcement Directorate, where there are raids happening at various locations. But we also have been seeing how there's a mega crackdown by the Enforcement Directorate in this matter. In the Liquorgate scam, which we have been seeing that many names of the accused have also been listed in the copy, but also at the same time we see that there were raids earlier which happened. Now once again we see that raids are underway at various locations across the country. They are near about 35 locations, and Hyderabad is also one of the cities where we are seeing that raids are underway in connection with the liquor scam. So what exactly is behind this also remains to be seen, and what exactly was this scam about, because we have been seeing this is one of the biggest scams in the recent times, and so the Liquorgate scam also has connections to Hyderabad. So what will be recovered from the Enforcement Directorate also remains to be seen.
Right, so searches continue across the country in 35 locations. Anuj, to bring us some more updates now. Anuj, we're also getting a tweet that has been released by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, and he's talking about the raids by central agencies. Tell us more about what this means, what the Chief Minister of Delhi, it appears he's continually maintaining that his deputy is innocent, that the Aam Aadmi Party, that these raids have not been able to come out with anything. It's over to you.
Oh, well, exactly. This is something, the line which has been taken by the Aam Aadmi Party as well as the Supremo of Aam Aadmi Party, that's none other but Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi. And there he's maintaining the same, that my deputy or the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, is innocent. it has been mentioned in that very particular tweet that there have been multiple searches, multiple investigation which has been done by the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI, but nothing has been found as of till now by the agency, and they are not going to find anything. That is something which has been stated by Arvind Kejriwal, because we have not done anything, and he's trying to put in that Manish Sisodia or the Aam Aadmi Party government is clean and nothing has been done. If you talk about this particular policy, because this has been stated, and rather than in the investigation this has been said that there are people, there are vendors, there are end users who have been benefited by this particular liquor policy which was implemented by the Delhi government. Later it was rolled back, so the numbers of questions has been raised on the same. We have seen the political ramification of the same, where Bharatiya Janata Party attacking the Aam Aadmi Party and coming out with the different press conferences, where I've seen the press conferences after press conferences, this was attack and counter attack by both the parties. But we have to keep in mind about the investigation which is going on. This is Enforcement Directorate who is now looking into the money trail, who is now looking into the money angle, about the money laundering, what exactly has been done, who all were the people who have been benefited by this particular policy, and that's why Sameer Mahindru has been arrested. And by connecting the dots, now the investigation has been taken ahead. When we are talking about Arvind Kejriwal, we have seen him doing press conference. We have seen Manish Sisodia himself coming out with the press conferences where they were continuously stating that we have not done anything, there is nothing in the excise policy, and this is all going to be clean at the end of the day. That is something with the line which has been taken by the Aam Aadmi Party. We will see how now Bharatiya Janata Party is going to react on the same, because as I told you earlier also, this is the war of word which was clearly seen among the parties. Yes.
Right, Anuj, many thanks for joining us, and also many thanks to you, Aneri, as well, and both of you keep your eyes on that story. We'll be back with you throughout the day for more. And as Anuj was just telling us, even as the Aam Aadmi Party continues to maintain its innocence and continues to maintain that its leaders are innocent, that there's nothing to be found in the Liquorgate scam, we are getting you now more breaking news coming in after Kerala. Savarkar posters now seen in Karnataka. And the breaking news here is that these posters have been put up by the Congress, workers of the Congress party. News coming in from Karnataka now, Savarkar posters being put up by Congress workers. The posters featuring Savarkar were pasted at a Congress rally. They were seen at a Congress rally. As our viewers are aware, the Bharat Jodo Yatra led by Rahul Gandhi is now in Karnataka. We are getting news right now of posters featuring Savarkar seen at a Congress rally. More details awaited as to which particular rally this is and where these posters were seen. Also, what is the message that the Congress is trying to put forward here in Karnataka? And that's a visual of one of the posters that we're talking about. Savarkar posters being put up by the Congress now. After Kerala, it's being seen in Karnataka. Congress workers putting up posters of featuring Veer Savarkar. And first we saw these posters in Kerala, and now they're being seen in Karnataka as part of the Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is in Karnataka right now. That's what the report suggests, but we are awaiting more details. That's an example of the posters we're talking about. And Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP now on the phone line. Sir, when we talk about the Congress now as part of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, after all that has gone on before, the massive row over Veer Savarkar and so on, the Congress workers we are seeing now putting up posters of Veer Savarkar at the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
You see, the truth always has a way of emerging, and today the Congress workers are sending out a message to Rahul Gandhi that indeed अगर भारत जोड़ो करना है तो सावरकर जी की विचारधारा से जुड़ना पड़ेगा. And therefore from Kerala to Karnataka, wherever this yatra is going, the Congress workers, the few patriots who are left in the Congress, are sending out a message to the Vadra Congress, to Rahul Gandhi, that his views on Savarkar are extremely wrong. He must apologize for those views, and he must hold Savarkar ji in high esteem as one of the greatest patriots this country has seen. And therefore, the Congress may now dismiss it as miscreants, etc. But the truth always emerges, and today Savarkar ji का अपमान करने के लिए राहुल गांधी को नतमस्तक होकर नाक रगड़कर माफी मांगनी चाहिए कि yes, I was very wrong when I said he is a darpok and a kair, and I apologize for my views. This is the message that the Congress workers, the few patriots who are left in the Vadra Congress, are sending out.
Right. Well, Shehzad Poonawalla, many thanks for joining us there. So, the Congress party now in the midst of a major controversy as they put up posters as part of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, posters featuring Veer Savarkar. And Prajwal, to tell us more, Prajwal, we are looking at a poster here featuring Veer Savarkar, and it's a poster that's been put up by the Congress, we believe, as part of its Bharat Jodo Yatra. Tell us more.
Rukma, this particular poster, not only along with Rahul Gandhi, but along with all the leaders of the state Congress, was spotted in and around Nagmangala in Mandya, when Rahul Gandhi was traversing between Melkote to Nagmangala town. And this was seen, and interestingly, it is not only Veer Savarkar, but it also has the pictures and photos of Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel as well. And the Congress, which basically goes on and opposes this ideology, is now featuring the pictures. And also, interestingly, the picture of Shantinagar MLA, N.A. Harris, is also there. And N.A. Harris was the one who has always opposed Veer Savarkar on multiple instances and multiple occasions over a period of many years now, and his particular photo was also seen. Now, the Congress have already gone on to lodge a complaint in the Mandya police station stating that some miscreants have done this. But if the miscreants had done it, it would not, it would have been seen only in one poster. But there are several posters which are dotted across the entire route march for the Congress over here. And, now the Congress blaming the miscreants is very surprising here, because the man on the poster you see at the bottom right is that of N.A. Harris, who's the Shantinagar MLA here. And now he's blamed it on miscreants.
Veer Savarkar, now the Congress draws many comments and reactions as it puts up posters of Veer Savarkar in its Bharat Jodo Yatra. We're rolling on with this coverage. Stay with Republic. We'll be right back after a very short break.
Of Enforcement Directorate on Aam Aadmi Party. This is searches in the liquor gate, which is being carried out since from the morning. 35 places, 35 locations being searched by Enforcement Directorate. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place, and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to high position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul! Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul!
You're watching Live in Breaking, and breaking news coming in now. 6 foreign nationals from Iran and Pakistan nabbed in a joint operation by Navy and NCB. There's National Coast Guard, and 200 crore rupees worth of contraband seized from them. The Iranian boat with no fishing license was seized and is now parked at Port Trust in Kochi. And Ashwin, with us joining us live to give us more details about this. Ashwin, we are hearing of a major drug bust in Kochi. Over to you for all the details.
Well, the initial report that is coming in is that the Indian Navy, in an operation and based on an intelligence input, has seized the boat, which was about 1,200 nautical miles away from the coast of Kochi in the deep seas of the Arabian Sea. And this boat has been seized in an operation that was taken up last evening. And 6 nationals, those including from Iran and Pakistan, have been taken into custody by a joint operation by the Narcotics Control Bureau as well as the Indian Navy. Today, it is likely that all the 6 will be brought in front of the court, district court here in Kochi as well. The total contraband is worth rupees 200 crores. About all the contraband is basically heroin that has been caught. It was based on an intelligence input that has been received by the NCB, and then the crackdown has happened. This is by far one of the biggest crackdown that has happened in the recent times, and the NCB has also stated they will be holding a press conference in this regard today evening at around 4 p.m.
Right. We are hearing about 6 foreign nationals now. So give us more details about them. Where have they been kept? What is the procedure now that will be followed, and so on?
The boat that has been seized is an Iranian boat, and in that it has been reported that there are Iranians as well as Pakistanis. So all these 6 foreign nationals will be brought in to the court today, district court in Kochi today, and after which they will be remanded as well. It is also likely that the NIA will also look into this case, because in 2015 in Alleppey a similar case had come and NIA had taken this case. Remember, it was done 1,200 nautical miles from the coast of Kochi. We'll be bringing you all the latest update on the story. Stay tuned to Republic TV. Stay tuned.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to higher position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul.
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes, and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
In this election, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is within the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to higher position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul.
And in some sports news now, Iran breezed to a 5-0 win over Thailand in the AFC Futsal Asian Cup semi-finals. With this victory, Iran is just a match away from lifting the title for a record extending 13th time against Japan, the only other team to have won the coveted crown. And Saski Baskonia made a winning start to the new EuroLeague season with an 81-71 success at Valencia Basket. The new coach, John Penaroya, led Baskonia masterminding the victory against coach's former club, Mike Kotsar, on his premier match, emerging as the star performer.
direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking against organized crime, particularly the one which has been funding terrorism.
It's my cry, it's my feeling that SC/ST, when they are represented to high position, they become dumb and deaf.
जिस प्रकार के शब्दों का प्रयोग उन्होंने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी के लिए किया है, वो चिंताजनक और दुखद है, अशोभनीय है।
One of your leaders has abused the president. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul, one of your leaders has abused the president. He's called her deaf and dumb. Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul, would you choose to react? Mr. Rahul.
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place, and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
How did that woman who blew herself up and killed those Chinese in Karachi, she belonged to an educated family. Who told the Tariq-e-Taliban Pakistan terrorists that it was okay to kill soldiers or kill innocent people in the market? Pakistan thought that they would rear and breed these snakes, and these snakes would bite only their neighbors. And this entire thing about secularization of jihad is just another Pakistani ploy. Pakistan does not want the responsibility, but it wants to keep funding jihad.
Direction, we broke into a dialogue with the Secretary General, managed to convince them that this being the 75th year of our independence, it is in the fitness of things that we host this event, and that is how it was unanimously accepted.
IC-814, the flight that was hijacked, and then of course the famous match fixing, and then of course Bofors. We were able to get first the Switzerland's cooperation, then the Malaysian government's cooperation. So all this would not have been possible without our seeking the assistance of the Interpol.
The assets which are stashed away, which are taken away as dirty money, and they are stashed away, and for the recovery of that, there is an initiative which India, CBI and Interpol has been jointly taking.
Mega crackdown on Liquorgate, pan-India ED searches are now underway. From the national capital to Hyderabad, ED searches are underway across 35 locations. But silent on major charges, Kejriwal defends his deputy Manish Sisodia, says won't find anything. Fresh Madrasa row in Karnataka's Bidar. Mob enters Madrasa, performs puja. Owaisi hits out, questions the Bommai government. The Congress sparks a fresh row after Kerala. Veer Savarkar posters in Karnataka at the Bharat Jodo Yatra. BJP fires fresh questions. Will carbon dating of the Shivling in the Gyanvapi mosque be allowed? Verdict to be announced today. Good morning and thank you for staying with us on Republic TV. This is Live and Breaking. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. The DMK MP Kannimoi has questioned a government notification which states that only English and Hindi language can be used for the combined graduate level examination now. And Kannimoi is not the only one who's questioning this policy. The JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has also hit out at the government. So essentially we are seeing this row taking another turn. This of course comes after the DMK MP Kannimoi had earlier questioned a government notification which had in a sense said that only English and Hindi can be used for the combined graduate level examination. Now the JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has also questioned this. He's hit out at the government over this move. Varshini is going to be joining us live and she has more details right now. Varshini, tell us more about what the JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has said. Varshini, if you can hear me. First, of course, it was Kannimoi who had hit out at the government over this. Now we're given to understand that the JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has also attacked the government on this. Tell us more in terms of what he said.
Nupur, if you see the southern states, particularly states like Tamil Nadu or Karnataka, which has a sense of connect with the language that is spoken here and has always been prevailing here, and particularly the state of Tamil Nadu has always been raising its voice against Hindi imposition and this examination that has been announced, the CGL examination, is the issue that has been raised by Kannimoi, who is a DMK MP from the state. And she had earlier mentioned about how there should not be, examination that is a combined level examination that is being conducted only in English and Hindi, but also rather it has to be conducted in regional languages as well. And now if you see H.D. Kumaraswamy from Karnataka has also mentioned about the same, how he's also spoken about how the regional languages are being suppressed by the central government, and the central government is always keen on making sure that they are able to bring ways to suppress the regional languages. They're not letting the languages still prevail in the state is what he's mentioned in his tweet. And, this is an ongoing issue that has been, going for several years now. And with every other, announcement that is being made, leaders from the southern states are coming up with a language issue. Even in the past, we've seen several instances where, be it several DMK leaders or many leaders from Tamil Nadu has raised a similar kind of issue. Therefore, examination which is a common examination for all the people has to be conducted in different regional languages is what the bottom line of this whole issue is about.
Right, absolutely. As you're pointing out, of course, earlier we had Kannimoi hit out at the government. Now we've also had H.D. Kumaraswamy, who's essentially also bringing forward the demand of various Kannada groups, which have been demanding that these exams should be conducted in multiple languages so that, a large section of people is able to take these examinations. Now, how do you see this going forward?
This particular issue is definitely, definitely going to be a very important thing for at least the DMK party in the state of Tamil Nadu, because, in the past we've been seeing how Dravida Kazhagam and Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam have been playing instrumental in, making sure that they are always putting up a fight against Hindi language coming into the state of Tamil Nadu, and they've always opposed about, the selection processes for many government positions, many central government examinations that are being conducted in Hindi language and English for that matter as well. And they've always mentioned about how Tamil Nadu has to always have Tamil as the official language. Even in the recent past, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has been writing constantly to the Prime Minister about how Tamil should be an official language in the state.
All right, stay with us, Varshini. I'm going to come back to you in just a bit. Mr. Tirupati on the phone line with me. Mr. Tirupati, good morning. Kanimozhi, of course, raised this issue yesterday of the fact that regional languages should also be included in these examinations. And today we are seeing H.D. Kumaraswamy also pick up the issue, saying that a large number of people are essentially ignored and can't take this examination because they can neither speak English nor Hindi.
Now, see, first of all, they have to explain as to why these languages were not there when they were ruling. Particularly, Kanimozhi's DMK was in rule in center from 1999 to 2014. So, I request or I demand Kanimozhi's apology for not including these languages for 15 years when they were in power. And they have to explain as to why, when they are in opposition, they are asking like this. Now, there is no second thought that it should be there. The languages in all languages should be there, because this is the only government that has given that has conducted examinations in all languages, whether it is postal or NEET or whatever it is. A BJP government is the only government that has changed everything, and it has given a facelift. BJP government has definitely conducting all examinations in all languages. So before that, Kanimozhi has to apologize for their mistake for 15 years.
All right, Mr. Tirupati, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. Thank you for joining us. Varshini, thank you to you as well. So, fresh row breaking out over the issue of languages. Local leadership of both Tamil Nadu and Karnataka asking for more languages to be included in the examinations. Now, a group of people taking part in the Dussehra procession entered the historical Mahmood Gavan Madrasa in Karnataka. They performed puja and raised slogans of Jai Shri Ram. An FIR has been registered against 9 people. 4 have been taken into custody. Republic TV has now accessed the FIR copy of this particular case. This, of course, pertains to the Dussehra procession, where these people had entered a historical Mahmood Gavan Madrasa in Karnataka, and they in fact even performed a puja at the corner of the mosque and raised slogans of Jai Shri Ram. An FIR was immediately registered, and 9 people were named in that FIR. 4 of them have been taken into custody. Prajwal is reporting on this. He joins us from Bengaluru right now. Prajwal, we have of course managed to access the FIR that's playing out on our screens right now. Now give us more details. Prajwal, if you can hear us, give us more details of what this FIR talks about. Now, we can see it on our screens. It's been filed against 9 people in this Bidar case.
Now, Nupur, we get to understand that all the 9 people in question here are Naresh Gowli, Prakash, Vinu, Munnanna, Sagar, Jagdish, Arun Gowli, Ganesh Gowli and Gorak Gowli. So these 3, against all these 9 people, an FIR has been filed against, under the sections 143, 147, 153, 295A, 447 and 149. So all of them under trying to disrupt communal peace and harmony in the region. And now this particular madrasa also comes under the Archaeological Society of India. So in the Republic, I beg your pardon, in the FIR copy which Republic has accessed, from the complainant itself, we are getting to understand that, Mohammad Saifuddin, who's the complainant over here, has mentioned that at 2 a.m. on the 6th of October, which was yesterday, there was a mob which entered illegally into the premises by threatening the security guard there. And once they started threatening the security guard, they forced him to open the gates, and they immediately barged inside the madrasa where where there were rituals which have been conducted. We have those exclusive footages of where the ritual too has been conducted to. And once the rituals began over there were also chants of Jai Shri Ram, and this triggered a crowd in the neighboring locality, and over hundreds of people gathered within no time, and the cops had to rush immediately to make sure that no untoward incident would be reported. Now many of the brethren from Muslim community have gathered together and are demanding action against all of them, because 4 people have been detained, but who are they and why have they been detained is still not being known, because none of the 9 people in this FIR have been arrested, who have been named in this FIR have been arrested, but 4 other people who were there along with that particular mob which gate crashed into the madrasa is now being looked into, Nupur.
So, Prajwal, what you're essentially saying is that the people against whom the FIR has been registered, no action has been taken against them yet. Why is that so? Is it because the police have not been able to track them down, or is there another reason for it?
Nupur, at this point of time, we get to understand that the cops have not been able to track them down, but the search is still on, because the SP has clearly mentioned that no matter what it is, action will be taken against them. And as this was a mob, there were around 50 to 70 people who came in all at once, but only the FIR has been registered against 9 people now. So where are these 9 people? Were they the ones who were heading it? Because some of the 9 people have also been seen in those footage and visuals chanting slogans of Jai Shri Ram and barging into the madrasa. So therefore the police still do not know about their whereabouts. So no arrests have been made, but 4 people have been detained. So who are these detained people? We are yet to learn more information in that regard.
Absolutely. Prajwal joining us. Thank you for that. This, of course, also does raise questions in terms of security of these protected monuments, because as Prajwal was pointing out, this mosque is under the ASI and its protection. And here's a look at what else is making news this morning. Thousands of youths chanted slogans as they lined up to join the Indian Army as part of its Agnipath scheme launched in June this year. One of the youngsters who gathered there to participate in the Agnipath recruitment rally said that he would be extremely proud even if he could serve in the army. For a second.
देश की रक्षा करना चाहता हूँ। जितने भी हमारे युवा बैठे हैं सब ये देश की रक्षा करना चाहते हैं, और मैं मोदी साहब का बड़ा आभारी हूँ जो उन्होंने 8वीं कक्षा का भी मौका दिया और 10वीं का भी और 12वीं का भी।
Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has ordered a statewide campaign for pothole-free roads by the 15th of November. Yogi Adityanath chaired a high-level meeting in view of facilitating ease of movement. In the meeting, the Chief Minister also reviewed preparations for the 81st session of the Indian Road Congress to be held in Lucknow from Saturday. A shocker from Madhya Pradesh's Vidisha district, where the principal of a government school was transferred on the charges of building a mazar platform inside the school premises. The principal has also stopped the singing of the national anthem. The situation sparked a dispute, leading to inspection by the NCPCR president.
ಅದು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ನೆನ್ನೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬಂತು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಇವತ್ತೇ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ಆಯಿತು, ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್.
Well, that, of course, is the first reaction that we are getting from DK Shivakumar on the ED summons that have been issued to him. Now, we were earlier getting news that he had asked to appear before the ED on another day. The summons from the ED, of course, come right in the middle of the Congress Party's Bharat Jodo Yatra that is currently in Karnataka. DK Shivakumar over there, of course, speaking to the media. This is the reaction that he is giving out for the first time on the ED summons.
ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕರೆದಿರೋದು ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಇದು ಅದ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಪೇಪರ್ ವಿಚಾರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದವರು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೊರತು ನನಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇನ್ನ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕಳೆದ ಬಾರಿ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ 35 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಇಂದಿರಾ
ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್.
These are two different investigations. One was the National Herald case, which I have been summoned in regard to. That is for which the media has spoken in this regard.
Either it is Pavgada or anything in my power department when I was a minister, if anything I have done. Yesterday I have seen even in the Deccan Herald, a CAG report is been there. I request them, already I have put it on record, you please hand over to CBI. Because you could not do any investigation last 3 years. Now you hand over everything. Whatever is there in our my earlier department, you please hand over to CBI, including whatever solar schemes you are telling. I don't mind of it. If I have done anything wrong, I am telling you, if I have done anything wrong, let them hang me. I know how honest I was, how much I have helped the department, and with my policies, with my commitment to the Karnataka. I think how much money, how much power they have sold and they have earned. I know about it. It is a very biggest model in the entire country, and even the central government has appreciated. The Honorable Prime Minister also has issued certificates on this issue, and in their internal circulars and letters communicated to the various states, they have said that this is the model of Karnataka which everyone has to adopt. I have all those records. I will find out and I will release later, including the photographs. No, I am telling you why you want a judge. You appoint a CBI, you give to CBI. You are giving all things to CBI. Some you are giving to ACB. You appoint you give it to CBI. And yesterday also they have said that in household scheme, the various the Upadhyaya scheme, some all where central government money was there. See, CAG itself has identified that something is wrong and they have found out. You please hand over. Why not? See, I know, I say, as a power minister, even central government did not come out with a big ads or advertisement officially, because my name and Karnataka government name will come up. It is a scheme. You should not know that in the entire world I am telling you, without acquiring a single piece of land of the farmer or purchasing from the farmer on a rental basis, we have helped that made that the world's largest solar park, which still government of Karnataka and India is earning money out of it. Thank you.
Well, DK Shivakumar over there in his first response to the ED summons that have been issued. Let's go across to Prajwal, who is joining us right now. Prajwal, the point that DK Shivakumar has made before the ED is that he's willing to appear, but they should give him time till the time, time till the fact that the Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra actually leaves the state.
Absolutely, Nupur, because now, we get to understand that things are not turning out well for DK Shivakumar. And initially, when he spoke to the media in Canada, his first reactions were, I do not still know in which case I have been summoned here. So that was his initial first reactions which came in. And later he also spoke about the scams which took place during Siddaramaiah government's regime here in regard to the power scam over here. So the timing of the raids are being questioned by the Congress and by DK Shivakumar too. And this definitely seems to be a huge setback for DK Shivakumar, because the Bharat Jodo Yatra is passing from Nagmangala towards Adi Chunchandgiri Mutt, and it is seen as one of the most powerful strongholds and a prominent stronghold among the Wakkaligas community as well. So today, DK Shivakumar not being present there will definitely be a setback for him too, because this is the bastion that he considers. He considers over from the JDS, because the belt to which Rahul Gandhi's yatra is passing is basically a JDS dominant belt as well. So that is something which DK Shivkumar had looked to go on and polarize the votes there, but now he had to be present in Delhi for the ED questioning in the National Herald case.
Right. Prajwal, stay with us. As Prajwal is pointing out, DK Shivakumar over there reacting to the ED summons. He's in New Delhi for the summons. Let's in fact listen in once again to what he said.
I have been summoned last 7-8 days. I got a summons from ED. After getting the summons, I requested them that you please, I am a law-abiding citizen. I will respect the law. Myself, my brother DK Suresh, we are legislators. We have some responsibility in the political system. You please give us after 23rd, after our Bharat Jodo has been completed. But again, the concerned officer who has been appointed to investigate these issues has said that I am again directing you to present before me. So as a law-abiding citizen, though that is also important, I decided, we all, myself and all of our leaders, we sat to respect the Enforcement Directorate and the law. We left our yatra in the middle and we have come. I am going. Already, this is a different IO which I have been investigated in some other case. So I think I will know about it. But still, I doesn't know on what angle, what is the issue. I doesn't know yet.
Sir, they say that there was some amount which was deposited by you and your brother in Young India a long time back. Maybe somewhere 25 lakh or something.
I am telling you, when I come back, whatever that they ask, I don't know.
And here's a look at some international news in brief now. Continuous pouring by a westbound tropical storm across Venezuela left floods, landslides in their wake. Many homes were damaged. A video has surfaced on the social media showing a landslide that affected an apartment building, followed by several other residents waking up to witness destruction of about 19 homes. The leaders of California, Oregon, Washington State and British Columbia signed a new agreement on reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Gavin Newsom of the California government, Kate Brown of Oregon, Jay Inslee of Washington and Premier John Horgan of British Columbia signed the Pacific Coast Collaborative Statement of Cooperation at the Presidio Tunnel Tops Park in San Francisco.
Point I want to reinforce briefly as I ask everybody to come up and we update our 2016 Pacific Coast Collaborative Agreement. And that is collaboration, inspiration.
Cultural. This is the #1 economic development program that has been spectacularly successful. Look, the #1 economies in the country are represented right here, these 4 leaders groups.
2 people were killed besides 6 others being severely wounded in a stabbing attack along a Las Vegas strip. The attacker carrying a large kitchen knife was arrested in connection with the stabbing. As per sources, stabbings occurred in multiple locations and some of the victims appeared to be showgirls who took pictures with tourists on the strip. The 5 surviving victims were rushed to hospitals for further treatment. Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry has called for help as humanitarian crisis continues to prevail in the country. Residents of Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, awoke to empty traffic streets with heavily armed gangs having control of the city's fuel terminal and many other parts. Gangs have always wielded considerable power in Haiti, but post the July 2021 assassination attempt of President Jean-Noël Moïse, authorities have grown as they fight to control more territories. Now, their suppression led to killings of hundreds, including women and children in recent months. The gang supremacy has also driven some 20,000 people away from their homes. Several thousand people held a protest in Banja Luka accusing a pro-Russian Bosnian Serb leader Milorad Dodik of rigging a vote to win a position he sought. Chanting slogans against Dodik, the protesters blocked traffic in the main city. The demonstrators called for a repeat of Sunday's vote for the president of Republika Srpska. Orchids, violets, cacti and many other species were on display. You are watching Republic TV, and up next, the Congress sparks a fresh row after Kerala Veer Savarkar posters are found in Karnataka at the Bharat Jodo Yatra. The BJP fires fresh salvos. And will carbon dating of a shivling in the Gyanvapi mosque be allowed? Verdict to be announced today.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Vadra Congress has launched yet another organized attack on President Draupadi Murmu. And it cannot be accidental. They have called her all sorts of names. And they have assigned their senior Congress leader Udit Raj for this hatchet job. Viewers, earlier the same Congress leader was assigned to personally attack President Ramnath Kovind. So there is a pattern. The Vadra Congress, viewers, has constantly targeted President Murmu. With Sonia Gandhi, I don't know what problem she has with President Draupadi Murmu, earlier personally assigning her man in parliament, Adhir Ranjan, to attack President Draupadi Murmu and describe the president as Rashtrapatni. Viewers, the Vadra family's effective sponsorship of these attacks on President Murmu is clear from the fact that all those who have senselessly attacked President Draupadi Murmu have only been promoted in the party and not faced any action at all. So then what is the Vadra's problem with President Murmu? Are they happier with people they put on the president's chair who say they are so grateful that they would sweep the floor for members of the Vadra Gandhi family? Or is it the fact that President Kovind and President Murmu are from the SC/ST community and have risen to the highest job with sheer service to the country and merit? Whatever the reason, only a contorted mind would attack the President of India in the way the Congress has. And that, tonight, we debate.
Multilateral and bilateral. In both the cases, General Assembly is going to be a big boost to Indian law enforcement as well as to the Indian image of having come a long way in the last 75 years.
General Assembly, a lot of discussions are going to take place and a fruitful engagement would be there between India and Interpol. There would be bilaterals, there will be multilaterals.
This session in Delhi will be a landmark session. There could be a rethinking on the part of many of the countries which refuse to go an extra mile to help member nations.
Buyer.
So your brother has also been called in for questioning.
He's there outside. Mobile 9845556633. 45556633.
That Young Indian as a company had illegally acquired the entire assets of Solicitor General.
Huh? 33. I'll come inside.
So you said this was an attempt by there was nothing which was found. Just a donation. The donations that have been made. So that was Mr. D.K. Shiv Kumar who had. So you think that the agencies...
I will tell you later. I am a law-abiding citizen. I have respect for the law. They have summoned me. I request for the time. They did not say, no, you have to come. I have come today. Let me see, let me hear to them, let me speak to them, let me answer whatever I know information. But still I have not got the actual on in my summons what all they are asking. Anyway, this is the law of the land. Let us respect the law of the land.
Sir, just one question. Sir, last time in Mr. Shivkumar, sir, have you made any donations to young Indians? Sir, have you made any donations? Sir, this Geeta Reddy was called in for questioning. Did Congress leaders make donations to young Indians? Sir, is it true?
Did you speak to Mrs. Gandhi yesterday regarding coming out here for joining the investigation? Any conversation about that? No.
So do you think Enforcement Directorate is being misused by the centre?
So what about the timing you wanted to come later on 23rd? Mr. Kumar, you wanted to join the investigation on 23rd.
So, that is what he said.
The
allegations are that several Congress leaders between 2011 and 2012 were asked to make donations to young Indians.
Why?
So your brother has also been called for questioning. He's currently at the window in his class.
Mobile 9845566.
It said that Young Indian as a company had illegally acquired the entire assets of the
Come inside.
So you said this was an attempt by there was nothing to start. Bharat Jodo Yatra. What you say on the donations made by you? Just the donations. Sir, donations. Sir, regarding donations that have been made. So that was Mr.
So visuals there coming in of DK Shivakumar, who is outside the ED office as we speak. He will be quizzed today in connection with the National Herald case, saying that he had sought more time from the Enforcement Directorate with regard to him being questioned today in relation to the National Herald case. Going on to add that he had to leave the Congress Bharat Jodo Yatra midway, as a result of which he has now been asked to appear before the Enforcement Directorate. So it remains to be seen the line of questioning, how it is going to be like with regard to the National Herald scam. DK Shivakumar there saying that he had sought more time, but that his request was turned down by the Enforcement Directorate. And we'll go across to Tanisha and our other and Prajwal as well for more details on this. But the visuals coming in from outside the ED office in the National Capital. DK Shivakumar, who will be quizzed in a short while from now in the National Herald case. DK Shivakumar, while speaking to the media, said that he had sought more time to appear before the Enforcement Directorate. However, his request was turned down. We have Piyush as well reporting live. Piyush, if you could give us more details, at what time can we expect Shivakumar to be quizzed by the Enforcement Directorate?
So yes, good morning, and what we've been told is that he would be coming to ED. Now, we have not been told at what specific time he would be coming, but this comes at a time when he was given several summons by the Enforcement Directorate to appear before it, and he being busy in the Bharat Jodo Abhiyan in Karnataka wanted some more time. That was rejected by the Enforcement Directorate, following which he has said that this was all a political witch hunt, and he was being targeted for making Bharat Jodo Abhiyan in Karnataka very successful. He, however, said that he would comply by the summons that has been issued to him, and today he will be joining in for the investigations and joining in for the interrogation on his role of giving grants to the National Herald case, which is also being investigated subsequently by the Enforcement Directorate. Back to
yes,
the studio.
Piyush, stay with us. Also, we understand that it is, in fact, the second round of questioning that will take place of DK Shivakumar. If you could talk to us more about how was the line of questioning like in the first round for which DK Shivakumar was summoned by the ED?
So yes, you rightly said that this is the second round of questioning. Earlier also, DK Shivakumar was asked to appear before ED about 3 weeks back, in which he was asked about his role of amassing a lot of disproportionate assets. on that time when he came back and spoke to the media, he did confirm that he was also interrogated for giving grants to the National Herald case. So today he will be interrogated more specifically on his role of providing grants to the National Herald case. And it would be interesting now to see that what more revelations would come out after this interrogation of D.K. Shivakumar, a tall leader of Karnataka, ends. Back to you in the studio.
All right. Piyush, stay with us. Let's once again listen into what D.K. Shivakumar had to say just a short while back.
Sir, Ms. Geeta Reddy was called in for questioning. Did Congress leaders make donations to young Indians? Sir, is it true?
Did you speak to Mrs. Gandhi yesterday regarding coming out here for joining the investigation? Any conversation about that? No.
So do you think Enforcement Directorate is being misused by the centre?
So what about the timing you wanted to come later on 23rd? Mr. Kumar, you wanted to join the investigation on 23rd.
So, that is what he said. That he's not willing to give the CIC allegations are that several Congress leaders between 2011 and 2012 were asked to make donations to young Indians. So your brother has also been called in for questioning. He's currently at the window when his pass is
mobile 9845566
It said that Young Indian as a company had illegally acquired the entire assets of
Come inside.
So you said this was an attempt by Center Bharat Jodo Yatra. What to say on the donations made by you? Just the donations. So donations. Sir, regarding donations that have been made. So that was Mr.
So D.K. Shivakumar there saying that he has no idea as to why he's been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, it's the second time that D.K. Shivakumar will be quizzed by the Enforcement Directorate in relation to his role in the National Herald scam. In fact, speaking to the media, D.K. Shivakumar said that he had to leave the Yatra, the Bharat Jodo Yatra, midway, and that he had sought more time from the Enforcement Directorate. Piyush Ori continues to report live and give us more details on this. Prajwal also reporting live from Bengaluru. Prajwal, if you could talk to us more about the line of questioning, how it's going to be like, and also very interesting, the kind of remarks coming in from D.K. Shivakumar, where he is saying that he has no idea as to why he's been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate.
Right, because on the 19th of September, when D.K. Shivakumar was initially called in for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate, it was regarding to the disproportionate assets case and also about the cash which was found at Karnataka Bhavan with one of his aides, where he pointed out that the money belonged to D.K. Shivakumar, but the source of the money was in question. And also in the purchase of 2 flats at the Safdarjung area in a very posh enclave in New Delhi. So in all these regards, D.K. Shivakumar was called in by the Enforcement Directorate. But today this is in regard to the National Herald scam, where Young India had taken over the assets of National Herald. And also there were contributions by D.K. Shivakumar and D.K. Suresh in this particular regard. So the contributions towards the Young India is being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. But D.K. Shivakumar surprisingly states that he does not have any idea. Another line that is emerging, which might be the line of questioning, is the amount of money which was spent by D.K. Shivakumar on advertising during his regime when he was the Minister for Power in Karnataka. So that is also being questioned now, because there were several allegations against D.K. Shivakumar saying that he had misused the fund for his own purpose as well as the Congress party's purpose, and they were funds which was which was meant to be utilized for government works, as well as the advertisements which had to be given on behalf of the government of Karnataka. So even this particular angle coming in now, so we'll have to wait and watch as to what would be the line of questioning. But from what we know, from what sources have gone on to state to us, it is in regard to the National Herald case.
Yes. Prajwal, stay with us. Let's once again listen into that soundbite of D.K. Shivakumar.
At Enforcement Directorate. Sir, Mike Dhoni. Sir, so you have been called again. Do you think that the agencies...
Yeah, I will tell you later. I am a law-abiding citizen. I have respect for the law. They have summoned me. I request for a time. They did not say, no, you have to come. I have come today. Let me see. Let me hear to them. Let me speak to them. Let me answer whatever I know information.
So last
but still, I have not got the actual on in my summons, what all they are asking.
So last
Anyway, this is a law.